Okay, I've started the recording and everybody can see my screen. Welcome everyone to Managerial Accounting. All right, this is a continuation of financial accounting class, as you know, and about half of you have probably had me in financial accounting, the other half have not. So for those that have, just bear with me because I want to make sure that those that haven't understand what they need to do to be successful in this class. So we're just going to kind of go through a quick orientation type webinar, and then I'll answer any questions, and I'll explain, where you need to go to find information and get your homework done and study for your quizzes and all that good stuff, and how you can work to be successful and make sure that, you're doing everything you can to get an A in this class. Okay? So here we go. First, let me start off by introducing myself. I'm Tish Bates. I have been teaching for McKendree since 2010 and teaching online for them since 2013, I believe. So, maybe it was 12. No, 13. So I have been doing Principles of Financial Accounting and Principles of Managerial Accounting for them. I've also taught finance and some management courses for a couple other schools, and then a bunch of computer courses for Kaskaskia as well. I'm originally from Trenton, Illinois, so right down the road from McKendree and Lebanon, and graduated from West Glen, so I am local. I've just kind of moved on to other areas of the country through being recruited for jobs, and I'm currently living in Atlanta, Georgia, hoping to move back to Southern Illinois. So we'll see how that goes. We've got a plan in place that we're going to try to be moved back to Southern Illinois by the end of the summer. So maybe I'll be back on campus soon as well. At any rate, I'm very happy to be teaching with you guys and hopefully make this a great class for you. I know accounting is a scary, scary subject, and it's difficult for a lot of people. So don't feel like you're the Lone Ranger. If you don't understand something, the best thing you can do is just ask. There is no reason not to ask a question if you don't understand something. And you'll see as we walk through this some of the things that I will do to try to help you guys be successful. Okay, so with that, let's get started by going through the Blackboard course, and I'm just going to point out some things to you, okay? So first of all, always make sure that you're watching the announcements. Okay, I usually post at least one, maybe two announcements a week. Try to post reminders, about when the webinars are. The question and answer webinars, which are merely to ask questions, okay, are going to be on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock your time, so that's Central Time, 8 o'clock my time. So just if you can get on, that's great. I need at least one participant to be able to record the webinar. So as long as we have one person on that needs to ask a question or just wants to, see how things are going or if there's any tips I can give, we can do a webinar. Other than that, if you go into your modules, you will see all of your modules are available, so you can go in and see what's, available in them. I will tell you the exams are not yet available. That's done purposely. I want you to go through and learn this stuff, and they'll become available probably, I think it's just a little bit over a week before they're actually due, so you'll have a full week to do the exams. Both of them are take-home. Both of them are open book, open notes, and I'll provide a lot of tips for you to be successful on those, so make sure you listen to the webinars. You are going to find out that the webinars in my classes are key to your success, okay? I walk through on those webinars, which the pre-recorded ones are from last year at this time, okay, when I was teaching managerial accounting last year. So anything I say in them is not likely going to apply now. So I think one, I was going on a cruise the next week or something. Don't worry about that. That's not true. Unfortunately, I have no intention of going on a cruise during this term. I'm a little too busy. So with that, just keep that in mind if you hear me talking about something time-related or what have you. So the way the class works, all of your homework is always due Thursday night by 11:59 p.m. Central Time. Okay? So without question, it's always going to be due at that time. Okay? Quizzes are always due Sunday night by 11:59 p.m. Central Time. Okay? So those are your two due dates, Thursdays and Sundays. The exams will be due, the midterm is due the Sunday night by 11:59 p.m. and the final will be due Thursday because that last week is always short in these online classes, right? So there's an accelerated due date schedule in that last week, in week 8, okay? So make sure you pay attention to that because the homework in that week will be due on Monday night by 11:59 and the final will be due, and the quiz will be due Thursday by 11:59, okay? So just make sure you pay attention to those dates. Those are the only gotchas is that last week. In the module, when you click on one, you're going to see a series of things that you need to look at. The first one is the PowerPoint slides with voiceover. There's actually voice instructions that go with these PowerPoints, so you just have to hit the play button. I'll actually go on one. Let it open up. And again, I apologize. We've got a lot of pollen down here, so I'm clearing my throat constantly, it seems like. I apologize for that. Okay, so this voiceover and this PowerPoint, if you see this little thing and this comes up, you just hit this play button.
Welcome to Accounting 230, Managerial Accounting. Chapter 1, the first learning objective.
And you can pause it, right? And you can move this backwards and forwards and stuff like that and work your way through the various slides, okay? So that's one thing that you have to really work with these chapters, okay? Your homework solutions will be available every Friday morning, except the last week, every Friday morning at 8:30 a.m. So what you'll do is you'll submit your homework by Thursday, and then Friday morning you will go in and you will pull up your homework solutions, right, and see how your answers compare to what the solutions are, okay? And you need to do this because it's the only way you're going to learn how to do these problems correctly is to compare the two, right? Compare yours versus the correct answers, okay? And make sure you're setting them up correctly as well. One thing to note, all homework, and those that were in financial with me know this, all homework has to be done in Excel. And I want to see formulas. Okay, so make sure that you're doing all of your homework in Excel. If you don't know how to do formulas, there's actually there's a bunch of YouTube videos out there that teach you how to use Excel. Okay, and you need to do them. The reason I do this is because I've been working in the business world since 1995. So I've been through a lot of businesses. I can tell you without a doubt, every one of them has used Excel in some capacity. And it wasn't just the accountants or the finance people. It was everybody in that company that used it in some capacity for reporting. It didn't matter whether you were in HR, whether you're in management, what have you. Everybody uses Excel. So if you don't know it, you need to learn it now because it's going to make you more valuable in the business world, okay? So your homework solutions will pop up when they're available, and just go in and compare the two. Next thing is the quiz. You can take that whenever you like. You will, however, want to go in and complete this study guide prior to taking this quiz, because all of my study guides, as people will remember, are actually the quiz questions reworded. So if you can answer these, you'll do fine on this. Okay? If you can, and you can use that because the quizzes, I've taken the timer off of them, so they're not timed, but you still have to complete them in one setting. Okay? So make sure you go through and you do the study guide as a prep for the quiz, and then go in and take the quiz, and you'll do fine. Everybody that has used my study guide has made near perfect scores or perfect scores on the quizzes. Okay? This homework discussion board is great, but if you have a question, do me a favor and just email me. It's quicker than me going in and checking this, and I want to get to your questions as quickly as possible. So my McKendree email, the lrbates@mckendree.edu, is on my phone, so I get it instantly even if I'm at work. Okay? So that way at least I know that I need to get to you as quickly as possible. I can guarantee you you'll get a response in 24 hours, but I typically try to respond usually within an hour or two. It just depends on how many meetings I'm in that day. Okay? So I will do my best to get back to you. The webinar, here it is. This is the pre-recorded webinar, right? So this is the one that you need to watch. And depending on what we're covering, there's a couple of them that are pretty lengthy, like 2 hours long, okay? So just make sure that you have time to sit down and go through it. You can obviously fast forward, rewind, do whatever you need to. A lot of them, some of them are actual videos, others of them are YouTube videos. But these things are invaluable. This is where I go through all of your homework assignment and show you how to do the problems, show you how I want them set up. So before you come to me with a question, make sure you have watched this webinar, because I'll likely ask you first thing, especially if I know I covered it in that webinar, have you watched the webinar? Or I think you need to watch it again. Okay? We want to make sure that we keep in mind, you know, all of our time is valuable, right? So I want you to make sure that you're watching this webinar to fully understand these concepts, because a lot of these problems, as you're going to see, are going to be difficult. Okay? But I lay it out pretty simply in the webinar, and I think that if you just take the time to watch it, you'll understand all of the problems quite easily, actually. Okay? All right, so that's in every single module, okay? Over here, you know, you've got how to get a hold of me. My work, it says work phone. This is actually my cell phone. I text, you know, you can call me. Just realize you guys are an hour behind me, so if you're texting or calling or emailing at 10 o'clock at night your time, it's 11 o'clock my time, and I may not be answering. So I try to, you know, get back to you as quickly as possible, but don't email or call me or text me at 11 o'clock when your assignment's due at 11:59. Make sure that you're planning ahead of time, okay? Late assignments, let's talk about that. I understand life happens. I understand, you know, sometimes kids, you know, need to go to the ER for something, or, you know, hopefully you guys don't, or, you know, a parent doesn't, or something like that. I understand things happen, okay? I will work with you as long as you're A, not taking advantage of it, and B, you know, you try to turn in all your work in on time normally, okay? And you try to do a good job. But if I see somebody's not doing what they're supposed to be doing, you know, and I think that you're trying to take advantage of something, then I'm not going to be as lenient. Okay. So just please try to understand and respect the fact too that, anytime that somebody's late on something, it causes me to have to, go in and grade at a later time. It does cause additional work. Okay. So this is how to get a hold of me, right? The discussion board here you can use, and I'm sure that there looks like there's already a question in there. So student lounge, or there's already something in there anyway. I will look at these occasionally, but again, please email me if you have a question or you need my help, or text me or give me a call, okay? By the way, if you call during the day, I am at work and I likely won't be able to answer. It's better to call me anytime after 4 o'clock your time if you're on Central, okay? So anytime after 5 o'clock Eastern. And I'll be more than happy to talk with you and walk you through stuff. Let's see, what else? So here's orientation. Here's your Excel tutorial. And this is a basic Excel PowerPoint presentation that will kind of help you learn Excel to some extent. Okay. Also, use your YouTube videos. I know everybody knows about them, but if you've gone to YouTube, type in the word Excel tutorial, and a ton of them will pop up. Okay, so just pick something that's appropriate for a beginner level if you don't know how to use it, or if you're not sure what you need to use or learn, just reach out to me and I'll be happy to give you a couple of good suggestions. Okay. Other than that, you'll obviously want to look at your grades, things like that. You should be able to see your quizzes after you've completed them to see what you missed. The quizzes are all true-false questions. Usually I think 18 or 19 of them, and very much like the ones in principles. So, again, just make sure you do those study guides in advance and you should do fine. Okay? So what do you need to do to make an A in this class? Let's talk about that real quick. Making an A is going to be very difficult. It's challenging. This is a challenging class. So what can you do? The first thing you can do is make sure you always do your homework. Okay? Don't not turn in your homework, because I promise you, your homework problems are the same problems you're going to see on the exams. Same type of problems, not the exact same problem, the same type of problems. So if you can't do your homework problems, you're not going to do well on the exam. Okay? So make sure you're doing that. If you are struggling with your homework problems, go back and do the practice problems. Okay? That's why they're there. People that I have found that have done the practice problems and then done their homework problems, those are the people that have made A's in my class. Okay? Because they really know what they're doing by the time they get done with both sets of problems. I realize that time constraints are an issue, but I highly encourage you to do both sets of problems. Okay? Make sure you watch the webinars. It's going to tell you exactly how to do them, how to set them up, everything. Okay? Make sure you use the study guide for your quiz, and make sure, by all means, if you do not understand something, ask me. I am happy to get on a one-on-one webinar with anybody that's needing a little extra help. I've done it many times in the past in all of my classes. Okay? So if you're feeling like there's something still you're missing and you're not sure what it is, ask me. And I will get on a webinar and we'll go through it together, and you can ask me live questions. And I'll try it as long as it's after 5 o'clock in the evening or on a weekend, I'm yours. You just tell me what works for you, and I'll be happy to get on and help you. Okay? So, with that, does anybody else have any questions? Suzanne says none here. When will the quizzes be available? Everything comes available on a schedule. So it tells you when you go into the module itself. So the module 1 quiz is actually available. You could go into it right now. I think I pretty much left all of them available immediately. Yeah. So even the module 2 quiz is available. So they're basically available now if you wanted to go in and take them. Okay. Mindy says she went on the discussion board and couldn't create my own thread. Have no idea how. Okay. So if you go into the discussion board, do you have this create forum button up here, Mindy? That's going to be a forum. If you go in, which one were you in? Were you in the student biography? Okay. So you were in here. All right. You see this create thread? Do you have that? Okay, you responded on another thread. You might want to call IT and just make sure that they have your settings set correctly, because you should have the ability to create a thread in the student discussion board. So that concerns me a little, knowing what I know about systems. You should have this to where you can create your own thread, okay? So just call IT and make sure that they have your permissions on your user set correctly, okay? But that's fine. You know, I understand, you know, if you created something on somebody else, I'll try to find it. Okay. Any other questions? Any questions about the logistics or, you know, what you need to do? Anything? Or any questions over Module 1? Because obviously that is due tomorrow night, the homework. Module 1 was pretty easy, I think. Okay, if nobody has any other questions, then we are going to end it. Again, don't hesitate to reach out. Don't be afraid to reach out. I'm here to help everybody get through this, be as successful as possible. And I will tell you, as long as you do your work and you put in a good effort, you are not going to fail this class. Okay, I have yet to have anybody fail one of my classes. So don't feel like that's going to be an issue. Go into it, have confidence, okay, and do everything you can to make an A. All right? Okay. All right, well, thank you, girls, for coming to the webinar tonight. I will post this shortly. And, thank you, Suzanne. She said, Tish was great in the last class, so I know you will do well. Thank you. So I try to help everybody as best I can, and hopefully everybody comes out of here really knowing their accounting and feeling confident about it. I know that I've had a few actually convert over to accounting majors. So I don't expect that from everybody. It is a profession that takes, you know, somebody who enjoys accounting. So Good, good. I'm glad. Well, we will do this again next week on Tuesday, question and answer session. So make sure that you're doing your homework or trying to do your homework prior to those question and answer sessions so that, we can have a good, quick 10, 15 minute, 20 minute chat and get all the questions cleared up. Okay? Suzanne, I'm glad to hear it. She says it has certainly helped her at work, and so I look forward to more. Good. Great, great, great. Well, it's just a continuation, guys. It's literally, if you remember your income statement, balance sheet, statement of cash flows, and how they interact with each other. If you don't, go look at it. But just remembering that, and it's basically taking it to the next level. We get into more of the cost side of things and stuff like that. So it's not hard. It's all basic: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and just understanding where things go on the different statements. So you'll be fine. All right. All right, girls. Thanks again. Let me know if you need anything. I'm at your service. Have a great evening. You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.